Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is India and we have a fun one for you today. I'm talking about two things that I am very passionate about. That's food and family. So, if you are not familiar, my oldest sister, Paris, is a stroke patient, okay? Paris and I are about 5.5 years apart, so she's 5.5 years older than me, right? I'm the baby. I'm the youngest of four women. Okay. I'm so young. Paris is a stroke patient. I've been going back and forth with the idea of whether or not I wanted to put her on this platform as she is, you know, in her current state, okay? If you are a real OG, my sisters and I used to vlog back in the day. So we used to do like little videos here and there. We was probably posting maybe once a year. And so that's when Paris was all well. We were all in our 20s. Everything was good. And so when Paris was 37, that is when she had her stroke. And so now she is handicapped, and that's a part of our reality. That's her reality. That's my reality. Part of what I do is help take care of her. I consider myself a caretaker. So like I said, I was going back and forth with the idea of whether or not I wanted to even show her. You know, she's come such a long way. Like, I'm so proud of my sister. Like, if you're a stranger and you don't know what we've been through and you don't know her, if you're out in public and you see her, you're going to think, wow, this woman is in terrible shape. But to be honest, she has come a long way. There was one point where she was bedridden. There was one point where she was using bedpans. You know, we're having to change out bedpans. And I know that's a lot of information. I'll get into her story a little bit later. Yeah, but she's come a long way. There was one point where she was nonverbal, you know. She has had a portion of her brain removed. Like, you know what I'm saying? So she's not even functioning with a full brain at this point. You know, there was one point where she was in a wheelchair. I want to say she was in a wheelchair for about 4 years. Yeah, for about 4 years or so, she was in a wheelchair. So her walking on a walker, that's progress. Her being able to make facial expressions, smile, that's progress. Her being independent, you know, taking care of her own hygiene, that's progress. So what what I'm going to do, I filmed some stuff yesterday. I'm going to insert some clips of us going to her appointment. It's not a lot, but just her moving around. Us going to her appointment, me eating my meal for today, because like I said, I didn't know if I was going to get on here and do this. So I'll insert that, and then I'll come back. We'll talk about her story a little bit more in detail, because like most of y'all, you really have no idea, you know, what we've been through as a family and what we go through on a daily basis just to take care of her. And, you know, just FYI, you know, our mother is a stroke patient as well. So we were recently in the hospital with her about 3 or 4 months ago. My mom has had 9 strokes, but we're going to get into all that. Watch these clips and you guys hang out with me. I'm rushing. I'm about late. I'm trying to find a parking spot. I went and I let my sister out. I'm at this appointment with my oldest sister, and so I'm trying to hurry up and park. It's raining. It's ugly outside. I'll be back. We'll talk later. Y'all, it is such a nasty day out here. This is so gross. It is gross out here. I'm ready to go home. I am about to get into my meal for the day. I had this idea, y'all. I just came from an appointment with my oldest sister, so I might, like, when I get to my actual house, I might talk about her a little bit later in the video. I'm not sure, but I just got back from one of her occupational therapy appointments. She's a stroke patient. I might talk about her in a little bit, but that inspired me because, you know, my day has been busy. I'm just now getting from work. That's the oven preheating. Ignore that. So my day has been busy. I'm just now getting back, like, from work and back from my sister's appointment. Been running around just slightly. It's nasty outside. It's ugly. And so that inspired me to order some sandwiches for the family. That inspired me then to do OMAD video. So I ordered a sandwich, but I'm going to, like, pimp it out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We gonna razzle dazzle it. So I'm about to prepare my meal. I got some other things that I'm going to get together, like some yogurt. I'm thinking about eating like yogurt and fruit with my sandwich along with some vegetables or something. But let's get into the food, and then once I settle down, we'll talk a little bit. Oh my God, y'all, this don't even make no sense. Oh my goodness. My family and I are large and in charge, baby. Yup, ain't nobody cooking today. Who got time for that? So this is my sandwich. I'm gonna open it up. I got what's called a plain slim, so it's only the bread and turkey. I have some avocado that I'm gonna slice up, put on there. I have some lettuce, some salad left over, and then I have some cheese I'm gonna add. So it's cheaper when you do it this way, and this is stuff I already had, so I'm gonna just kind of doll this up a little bit, but I'll show you. Somebody judging me. It's okay. And then I still have some food back here, so yeah. I'm not playing. Oh my goodness, y'all. Oh my goodness. Here's my meal. We're looking a little bootleg right now, but look how that sandwich came out though. You know, look at this. So I'm probably not gonna get to both of these, right? I'm probably just gonna do one with my vegetables and my fruit and yogurt. Yeah, because two might be that might be a lot for me. I don't know. But we have these green beans over here. This is 62 calories for this pretty good sized bowl of green beans. That yogurt is going to be 160 calories. The bananas are 185 calories. This sandwich, now as is, just the turkey and the bread is 830 calories. And so most of those calories that's coming from the bread. I want to say this French bread is a little over 700 calories. And so I added the salad or the lettuce, the spring mix, whatever. That's 40 calories. The cheese is going to be 100 calories, 35 grams of the mozzarella cheese. And then that avocado I added is 303 calories. So just the cheese and the avocado is over 400 calories. If I'm looking at all my food here, guys, I don't even have this on the plate. We're not even doing that today, right? All the food that's in this clip is going to be 1,680 calories. Again, I'm probably not eating both halves. And if you include my coffee, everything for the day, I am at 1,880 calories. I'm going to eat this. Y'all. Ciao. It is so gross outside. It's disgusting. So what I am going to do I'm gonna get home. I'll probably just pick this up tomorrow and talk to you guys and just be a little better, because once I get home, I'm gonna just want to be home. Like, this is gross. Okay. So I've talked about Paris before. I've talked about my family before. I'll link some videos. I'm not sure how much details I shared. I went into detail some, but I do have a lot of new friends on here. I have a lot of people I'm connecting with who just didn't know that my oldest sister was handicapped. And so I'm going to tell her story a little bit more, and hopefully you guys can get a little bit of insight of what my daily life looks like outside of work and outside of me just showing my food and showing my diet. Quick timeline, and I will try my best not to make this so long, but remember, this has been the past 7 years of our lives. This has been the past 7 years of my sister's life. And so, again, in 2017, she was 37 years of age. That is when she suffered from a massive stroke. Now, at the time she was married, her husband has now passed away. That happened 3 years ago. You know, our family has been through it, to be completely honest with you. And so when she had her stroke, she was with her husband. And at the time, honestly, I don't think he understood the signs of a stroke. It was unexpected. He knew that something was off with her, but he did not know what was going on with her. So I think he reached out to one of our family members before he even got her any kind of medical help. I don't remember. He didn't call me back then, so I don't remember how it went. I want to say he probably reached out to my dad and asked for some advice to get her some help. Again, my brother-in-law, he didn't know, anything about strokes. No one did, right? Because this was all new to us. And so I think ultimately that is the reason why it was almost impossible for my sister to recover from her stroke. Okay, again, I told you my mom is a stroke patient as well. She's had 9 strokes and she has recovered decently from her strokes, if you will. So my mom is a little bit more functioning than my sister. My mom got back on her feet, a little better, So back then, 2017, my sister had her stroke. She stayed in the hospital for months. It took them a while to even get her to a stable point to where she could come home. All right. At that time, my sister was the breadwinner. She was the one working. I don't think my brother-in-law was working at that time. And so when she was in the hospital for all that time, they were renting out a house. They ended up losing that house because they weren't keeping up with the bills. Okay. And so after she got out the hospital, and I'm going to kind of jump around everywhere so you guys can understand where we came from and where we are now. And so after she got out the hospital, my brother-in-law and my sister, they came to live in my house with me. And so I set their space up in my garage. I have a decent looking garage, the floors are like the epoxy flooring. So it's not like a cement floor. It wasn't real rusty and dusty. I had the garage set up like a little mini apartment, if you will. There was a bed in there for my brother-in-law. My sister was in a hospital bed. There was space, electricity, heating, air, what have you. So they can have their little space. And so they lived with me for 2 years. And all the while, I still had my kid. My kid was younger. She was about 5 years old. So she wasn't the best behaving kid. She was just now starting school. Very stressful times, okay? My mom was living with me as well. And so my mom had been living with me even back when I had my apartment. So once I got separated from my husband, around that time is when my mom got diagnosed with congestive heart failure. And so right when he left, it was me and my daughter. My daughter was 1 at the time. And so my mom moved into my apartment back then with me and my 1-year-old to help us out. Okay. And so when I bought my house, it was me, my daughter, and my mom who moved into my house. And then my sister ended up getting sick, years later, so on and so forth. The reason I say that is because, my house is small. As is, my house is very small. And then at that time, for a couple of years, I had 5 people living in my house. Okay, we're talking about 1,200 square feet. All right. And so 2 years go by, and mind you guys, my sister was in a really, really, really bad state when she was living in my house. She was bedridden, like I said. She had multiple brain surgeries. She had a brain flap removed. They had to put a plate in her head. And so again, she's functioning with only a portion of a brain, okay? She had her stroke on the left side of her brain, so it affected the right side of her body. Her entire right side was shut down. She cannot move her right arm, her hand. She cannot use her right leg. And she's right-handed too, so she had to relearn how to write with her left hand. She had to get around with her left side of her body. For years, she was in a wheelchair. And this is me just kind of putting the pieces together very, very short. So I'm not doing too much talking, okay? But yeah. So in 2019, I ended up looking for my brother-in-law and my sister their own apartment. At that point, she was getting a little bit more stable, and I wanted them to be a little bit more independent and for them to start living their lives because they was getting burnt out, men in my house, and it was to the point where they needed to live together as husband and wife. He was her caretaker, the whole nine, right? And so when my sister and my brother, when they got their apartment, my mom decided to move in with them to help them out. So then it was my mom, my oldest sister, and my brother-in-law in an apartment together. All right. And then fast forward to 2021, my brother-in-law ended up passing away. He had a heart attack. He had some complications from the heart attack that he did not recover from. He had some other complications happening in the hospital. He actually recovered from his heart attack, but he had other things that he did not recover from. So he ended up passing away 2021. And so now you have this apartment that has my mother and my oldest sister in it. And again, like I said, back in the day when my mom and everyone was living with me, my mom actually had a stroke. My mom had her big stroke. She had many strokes up until that point. We just didn't know it. So when she had her big stroke, that was in 2018. So that's a year after my sister had her stroke. And so my mom ended up recovering from that. But when she had that stroke, that is when we discovered that she had about 4 or 5 strokes before that. They were mini strokes. The hospital gave her an MRI that revealed the spots on her brain where she had other strokes in the past. Okay. And that's my mom. And so fast forward, you have this apartment with 2 stroke patients in it, right? It just so happened that my mom and sister, they were living in the same complex as the twins, as my 2 other sisters. And so not the same apartment, but the same complex. And so the twins at that point, when they started living on their own, the twins were going back and forth to my mom and Paris, helping out like a tremendous amount. All right, we're going to fast forward to today. That was hard on them, that war on them. And so now it's my 3 sisters and my mom living in a house together, and we all stay close together, but it's them. So whenever you hear me talking about going over my family's house, I'm going to be with my sisters and my mom, and I'm helping taking care of my sister, my oldest sister, and my mom, making sure their laundry is done, making sure they have dinner, making, things like that, making sure they're getting to appointments when needed. Me and the twins, we try to, balance the workout. We try to balance everything out. And so all that to say, right, just so you can understand where we're coming from, right? All that to say, when I've been taking my sister to these appointments and I look at her now, I wish my family had a better quality of life, but just seeing her get around, seeing her interact with the medical staff, you know, she's doing things that honestly I didn't think she could do. Like, she is really, really working her right side. She's moving it, and she's impressing me. And like, I'm so proud of her. Like, you have no idea, right? And listen, I'm about to be late getting over. They're probably like, where is she? Because I'm late because I'm filming this video, right? I gotta go make their dinner and stuff. But like, I'm proud of her. She does a lot more than she could. She's come a long way. And, you know, this is a part of my life. This is a part of what I do on a daily basis. And sometimes, you know, my diet is affected. I get on here, I talk about diet a lot, you know. It's a very overwhelming position to be in. I don't like using the word stress, but y'all know me. I'm a stress eater. I'm an emotional eater. I'm very much so an emotional eater. And so, yeah, that affects me. This affects me. You know, if I'm going to get on here talking about diet, you know, I might as well talk about other parts of my life too, especially if it's going to affect my diet. All right. But guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to see what my sister is looking like. Like I said, I'm always hesitant to put her on any kind of pictures or film or anything because, you know, she doesn't look her best. You know, we're at the point to where she's very independent with her hygiene and her hair and, you know, getting dressed. So sometimes if we don't assist with helping get her ready on a daily basis, she's not going to look good. And so I'm not going to have nobody coming over here judging. So I say that because I was like, let me get over here. Let's put her on the camera or something, but I might not. You want to talk to my blog? Say, hey, you're being recorded.
Hey.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey.
That's my sister, y'all. That's my girl. Gotta show my meal for the day. This meal in front of you is 1,250 calories. 1,200 calories, guys. Some meatloaf for the family. Honey, it's not cute, but ain't nobody over here trying to be cute. You know that. Come on now. She ready to eat. She want me to leave her alone. Let's go eat.
All right.
My sister's food. Ain't nothing fancy. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you by any chance made it this far in this video, consider subscribing to my channel. Again, thank you for watching. Good luck on your journeys, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao. That was all over the place. But you know what? I plan on doing this more. I'll do this some more, okay? I'll do it some more.